The Feast of Tabernacles is also called the Feast of Ingathering. And the picture there is that all the nations, and 70 nations is all the nations. That is representative of all the Gentiles. So here it's also known as the Feast of Ingathering, meaning that all the Gentiles will be a part of this feast, will be coming in. And we know, of course, that will be during the Millennial Reign. That will be, of course, new heaven and new earth. Gentiles as well will be coming in. And of course, the Gentile bride. So Zechariah 14, 16 through 19, we see a picture of what happens after the tribulation concerning this feast and the nations. So it shall come to pass that everyone who is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem. And so again, this is after the tribulation. It shall come to pass that everyone who is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem, that's Armageddon, shall go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So they will be keeping, really, we see in Ezekiel, we see in the later chapters of Ezekiel when God outlines the millennial temple, and he outlines the feast and what will be happening. We see that all the feast will be kept during the millennial reign. But here we see there's a special mention of of tabernacles with a curse if you don't keep it. So all the nations will be expected to come and worship Jesus for the Feast of Tabernacles. And so continuing, and it shall be that whichever of the families of the earth do not come up to Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, on them there will be no rain. If the family of Egypt will not come up and enter in, they shall have no rain. They shall receive the plague with which the Lord strikes the nations who do not come up to the Feast of Tabernacles. This shall be the punishment of Egypt and the punishment of all the nations that do not come up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. So I think this is so interesting because we see Egypt is the leaders of Egypt are going to get squirrely during the millennial reign. And so it's amazing to actually, see how these things are going to come about in our future.